Dear viewers, we're about to enter the inner sanctum, into the house of the Kabbalists, Rabbi Yitzhak and narrow passages. Welcome to join the rebellion with Rabbi Honor. Come join us.
Hello everyone.
Hello and blessing personally. Hello and blessing to all our dear listeners
Honorable
as well.
Rabbi, we are in a not simple period. In a security situation, we see that many people are now sick. How can we get through this period, and what should be especially strengthened during
Every
this time?
day we hear of Job's afflictions, very hard afflictions. I also meet these families, I see them, I see the break, a tough thing we are going through. Who is the Day of Atonement in the Torah? And to this day, every single day, you hear of another injury, and another injury, and another injury. And we do not know how it leads. We must wake up. We need to know that if we were in the times of Mordecai and Esther, what would we have done? We would have fasted for 3 days and 3 nights. The blessing of the people of Israel. In recent days, they have held many fasts, many prayers, lots of tears, lots of tears.
Thank you very much.
We gathered at conferences, in lessons, and this is called The Heart Hears the Tears and the Troubles of the People of Israel. But we must continue to command and to pray and not to give up, because it is in our soul.
What else should we hold on to, Rabbi?
Unity, the love of Israel, that we see each one, the virtue of our friends, without initially searching, in the obedience of every circle, every community, every family. This is not the time for us to look at each other as enemies through a magnifying glass. And when he sees how we are disbanding the nation, fraying the fissures of the people, he's so quietly triumphant. So that's what he wants to see. And if we give it to her now in these hours and get involved and to deal with the rifts and these things, what separates us? What are these parts that can further divide? This is the highest thing that can be. The goal should be, one goal, to outmaneuver the enemy first and foremost. Every week to their homes, to bring the soldiers back home, to return the kindergartens to their homes. This should be the goal for now. And this is the goal we all need to stick to understand that we have one enemy who does not discriminate between religious, ultra-orthodox, secular, right-wing, left-wing, and he wants to destroy, perish, and kill all the Jews. Prevention and the elder, drama and women, on one day what is written in the book of Esther, and in every generation they stand against us absolutely. We need strength and faith, and to strengthen very much in love because they also were not keeping the Torah and commandments like our generation. There were laws like Jeroboam and Nebat. There were generations like Brother Father, like the hardest generations there could be. But there was unity in the people of Israel. There was love in the people of Israel. So that's what stands before us. And that's what we need to know right now. Our role is to talk as much as possible, to love one another.
Lots of work. You were in almost every basic aspect of the IDF. You were there. After all, you were a soldier with the rabbi who believes.
The truth is that I approached thousands of soldiers. I was in the Negev Guard. I was in Betsit. I was at the shipyard obligation. I boarded the warship. I met many soldiers doing sacred work. Officers, commanders, sergeants. My mother, what I hear themselves, faith in the creator of the universe. Keep praying, keep asking for mercy from heaven. And they want to hear us up there praying. When I looked at the beds, I channeled their souls. You know what that means? Stay on the ship. You see the ship as it is. Swinging all the time, can't see. And you're doing pass around cups for soul boats to offer. There are people here. They sacrifice their lives so that we can continue to be here, to live here in life, and they do everything for us. And our role is to fill them. When a Jew sees a soldier in the street, what should he do? Honor him, love him, give him strength to continue, to carry on with the task he's doing. We need to know that the soldiers do, with a sacrificial spirit, they do their utmost. And also their part, we see that they were also killed in the Gaza Strip, as well as in the state of Israel. In the evening when we arrive up there, what happens? When their soul faces the divine above, the genius Rabbi Shlomo Zalman, the living rabbi, says, Shai, instead of traveling to the north, to the graves of the righteous, I go to the cedar forest and there I plan. These soldiers are soldiers who sacrifice their soul for the sake of the mother. He would have known. There are riddles there that have done a lot, acts of bravery to save their friends. I reached a family who lost their only son in a tragedy. I sat with the friends of this guy is crazy. The story was, it was on a good mission. They encountered 200 terrorists and they gave them the chance to escape rather than stay there. And the guy decided that he was fighting face to face against the terrorists he managed to kill. And to understand our enemies, but he doesn't need to save himself. He is holy. He has no problem being known from within. Within this business, he has the option to either return or stay, and he made a sole decision to stay. And these are really people who gave their lives. I told the parents, only the people of Israel, the Jewish people, are simply the power of tradition sold for another, for pushing aside. For our fathers are subjects to their soul's probability, and they have bequeathed to us the power of soul's probability. When a person is willing to give up their souls for others, willing to die to save lives of Jews, there is no doubt that soldier who was killed in war, his place is found in the highest place, the very, very highest in
and
a
it doesn't
place.
matter Arab saying Torah
Thank you
and
very much.
commandments.
No matter. I brought the full answer in my book, Sihash Itzchak, on Tractate Nedarim, that every Jewish, as a young man and soldier, every Jew who was killed because he was Jewish is like a teacher in the highest place in the heavens.
A lot of work. Why does this happen to us again? Come suddenly. Torah ordination, Sabbath, holiday, and suddenly we see the rabbi, what's called the rabbi, something we read about in the Bible. How does it reach us, Rabbi?
We, the Jews, have no questions. We do not ask because we know that the Blessed Holy One knows what is best for us. And in what seems wrong to him, it seems so to us now, but when one is in the real world, they have no questions. He knew those who were killed and murdered. They endured all the tortures in all the worlds. From the Holocaust and all that, these are Jews who merited to reach all the produce here. This world is just a temporary place, according to Rabbi Abraham. Agar, the beating of Agar in Vienna, they took, when they discovered him, they found him, and he was doing conversion rites, and they found him in the study hall of Shep, and took him and led him to succeed to all the many people whom he prepared it for. You can't do anything to us because we control you. But when you come to the world of truth, you will regret us. We said, when in the world of truth, I will no longer be busy with you. I will leave the forefront of life. This world was its code. They call it news, instructions on how to reach his eternal life. Sometimes Verona bestows kindness upon a person, and his kindness is that he also merits her to die sanctifying God's name. Rabbi Akiva, he died at the age of 120, but in a cruel bed, his flesh was combed with iron combs. And they saw his journey in the parking lots of non-Jews. So you might ask, why Rabbi Akiva? Why is this? Why is Rabbi Akiva great for the generation? This was Rabbi Akiva's merit. If we were to meet those souls who were killed, we would hear from them that they are happy about what they have achieved. You appeared in a dream, and the names of those who were killed came in a dream to their parents and told them about it. The goods they have in paradise, telling what they remember and that they have no regret. And so it gives to him, and what is here? So we are destined to live and love the name, to do kindness and good deeds. And we need to create our wealth so as not to kill a Jewish life, to present a soul. But when it's already after that happens, we know that the righteous judge does the best for every soul and for the soul to reach the highest place possible.
How can we know the people? What does the Blessed Be He want from us? What is the Blessed Be His take on the decree He gave to the Ministry of Defense in October? What does the Blessed Creator want us to change? That every person now watching us take significant action. They want a love that changes.
We are all waiting for the redemption. We all know that there is such a decree, that there are many sacrifices. We sacrifice to the Creator of the world. Certainly, that is what can lead us from the divine assistance to the complete redemption. It's the power that can lead us even after the Holocaust. Many births for there to be redemption. When so many sacrifices are offered, the Holy One, blessed be He, full of compassion, and the people of Israel are capable of meriting redemption. We are already in a period where we are approaching Passover. We all know that in Nisan, redemption is revealed, and in Nisan it is given to be redeemed, and we all know that there is a time very capable of redemption. What do we need to do these days? It's about instilling faith, strengthening the Egyptians with prayers, as many prayers as possible. The more receipts, more commandments, more good deeds, observing the Sabbath, modesty, preservation, maintaining boundaries. There was never a period like this one, even after the 6-day war. In a decisive step, the answer was designed in general and so often returned to the commandment of repentance. In this period is the strongest time for the people of Israel in the conditions of Tel Aviv, putting on tefillin, observing Shiva, keeping commandments, tzitzit. You see the people of Israel right in the wilderness. I stayed at one of the bases and we talked about the lives they lived, saw and sought. And then we got up. After the conversation we had with the commanders, we started to sing. We will stay together.
So how will it be?
Ask your people, Oshi, ask, we believe. Hi, mommy, if you also get those cards, you'll see what a way they simply sang. We did. Yes, I believe to lean on the celestial delicacies. We sang it so much. You see the soldiers with the dance, with the joy, with the enthusiasm, and I sat and saw the meeting with the women who have no connection to religion. They have no connection to Judaism. They don't know what to do. And interested and listening and not knowing. And you see them all. When you don't go through these moments the moments when people have joyfully given their lives for the Torah within the monument. I heard that the loudest screams that were there were, "Here, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. We are a holy nation. There is no holy nation like the nation of Israel. We have nothing to fear." I say to all, we have nothing to fear. The people of Israel will win this war. The Jewish people will triumph grandly. He will conquer and defeat the enemy in Gaza, in Lebanon, and all our enemies we will obliterate. Iran will not be able to drop an atomic on us. Nothing huge will explode in Israel. It's a shame. Take it to heart. And as it's possible to give it a comparison, we have no choice. I hear all the rumors that various people come up with and say, as if there will be events or there won't be events, as if there won't be a closure in Israel. No atomic bomb in Israel. I repeat, no atomic bomb in Israel. Who can drop an atomic on the Jewish people? There is another village here. There is also the previous West here. There is also the cave of the patriarchs. There are also all the holy places. Who can kill the living mission? It blossomed. Rachel accompanies our soldiers to this day in war. I'm not the one writing this in the book. These are soldiers telling this. Hundreds of soldiers who encounter life with us. During the operations, the Apricot Operation Cliff, soldiers told, a few months ago, a certain Fakah in Bethlehem spoke, saying he too had encountered life because of it. Rachel is wandering with us. The holy ancestors are guiding us.
On the evening of the forecast by Hazal, a drop will quarrel from the north. How do we view this evening?
How am I getting there? From the north. But my focus is that in the north will appear to you a Messiah, conditional upon hearing and on the miracle. She already stands, so the Messiah can be received. I think from the north, she has opened a brilliant opportunity in God's honor. Thank you, she is proud of Israel's innocence. Thank you, she will save us. We need to speak only lessons. Oh, woe to those who speak. Always coming and singing. In sorrow, we must go. We are strengthening. We are getting closer to redemption, closer to the coming of God, to the coming of a critical moment. We need support. We constantly ask that the Blessed Receiver brings redemption to our expenses. With the utmost compassion, we need to know every moment, every hour, to understand we'll bring redemption with mercy. And not to think, God forbid anything of mine, just with mercy. The redemption of God is the gift of God.
Everyone is tense now. Families are falling apart. People are not staying in their homes. Rabbi, how can we preserve our unique couplehood? What needs to be done to maintain it? Healthy relationship.
Very important to connect to ready tools. That is to the Torah, to the commandments, and to doing things. And whoever is connected to the Torah, to the commandments, he understands that he has a role in the world. Sometimes his role is at his home. And sometimes his role is in exile. The people of Israel is a nation educated in exile. We are not, the first time you irritate, it's not a quality fruit. Exile can indeed make a person long for land. At times like these, I don't think it's disturbing. Whoever hears the Torah, the commandments of the land, feels a deeper connection. If you're not heading towards trouble, there's a bond. In times of trouble, a couple connects much better. Understanding each other, loving each other. All these stories explaining that they decompose less are just those who don't know. Forces with God, we're taking money to look for other things. Or someone goes by the name. Until much, it's the time of the real connection. And the strongest connection with hedgehogs, we've been through thin, we've been through poverty ancient, Ishmael, and Greece and Rome. And the Jewish people remained strong, united, and cohesive. And I think that in this place, it was more liquid for me, more for. I was one day in Mano Hanado in Haifa.
Respected Rabbi, we are in this period that many people are taking sleeping pills. People are having nightmares, especially those living in the north and south. How can one deal with this badly?
We have the holy here, the best that can be, to recite the declaration of hearing of his household. In the declaration of hearing, we are every day. In the declaration of hearing, we are morning and evening, dedicating our souls to the death of the group of the Lord. I'm really not scared of Malamud. We have found it somehow, like a bending grace, as if it's there, as if that's that. We are just a well from the past, creating and praying. He lowered the curtain there, and we have the strongest defense possible. You need to take this to a place where calling out her name means intent, directed, aiming. And if you need to take something to get there, to calm down, it's no big deal.
Rabbi, we mentioned last week that the righteous grandmother has passed away, and as long as Israel was there at the funeral. In Jerusalem, they say her demise cancelled a dreadful decree that was supposed to be for the people of Israel.
Grandma was very gloomy. You see the candles Grandma lit. She would stand by the candles. Correo Kimacho, you know. And just put her hands over her eyes. He will bear stitches to the world, thanks to all the righteous. You would mention all the names of the righteous. Every name and name directed and reminds them and prays for the people of Israel at these hours. And when they would enter people's homes, for those without children, the sick, everyone, she poured out blessings. You could feel her whole heart coming out. To receive a blessing, one must. She enjoyed quality days and years and was wounded at the age of 101 years. Not everyone gets to such an age, but I can see that her 101 years will be full of activity. Through commandments and good deeds, Grandma Chaim in Morocco, from a remote freezing place, they had no water, no electricity. They would draw water from the well. There were lives with candles. That's what life was, in terrible isolation. And all her humility lived in great faith in the clarity of the world. And she saw that in Morocco, where she lived in the villages. There is no education for children. And the teacher wanted her sons to always be warm, always in Torah, engaged in Torah and commandments. They threw us to France. When they brought Israel to France, to Morocco in that period, it wasn't simple. They were tough on people.
And it's just more pleasant here.
It was unbelievable. There were people who went and never returned. Sometimes they would return once a year, half a year, whenever they had money. They wouldn't return at all for their sons' weddings, her two eldest sons. Father and judgment, Rabbi said from the battle. Rabbi Chaim innovates. She wasn't at their weddings. She met a group 5 years after the president, because there was a distance from Morocco to Paris. This is your usual pneumonia. Can't travel for it. And no, even money must travel, even money. It was very expensive for the trip, and it was costly in time. And to leave the village, and ours are young children. No, we didn't work out for you. Well,
not, but it's
she understood that to educate children in Torah and commandments, one must send them to study Torah.
To
it's an illusion. That sending to study a virtual degree is all safe and sound.
Many righteous people watching us need to learn about grandmother.
As if her household had never seen Sunday afternoons. When she was stressed, she would regularly put a scarf on her head, and she would sneak from under the sheet. Even his storms, her modesty never showed on the outside. Of course, it was always less. And that was until the last moment when she was taken to the hospital. She said, before she passed away, she always held on and said, pay attention to the scarf, her scarf must not move. Modesty was a guiding light for her. It was an insistence on modesty. Preserving as much as possible, not to miss anything. When she arrives from Morocco, she asks Google for Jerusalem's. Today, I don't want to talk again. I am mature enough, let's go. It's sacred to know what's happening there. She used to go to the hotel all the time. There, the divine presence is found. God is there. The Shekinah does not move. Wonderful. From the Arab corner, we ask, request one hospitality must to speak at least once a month about those living outside Jerusalem, to arrive at least once a month to all of Tel Aviv. Tell me about Jews. When he would ask for her apartment, stopping by his parents, they would ask for her apartment. When she would go to one of the sons for the weekends, wow, that's harsh. Sabbath, as she prepares food from there, to talk about everything in the preparation and names it V. And with it, this apartment, and with it, he comes back with it, told her, you told him he deserves kids. And until she saw he has kids, she wouldn't come down. And says personal abusot. And to the sister, says 40, asking about the children every day. They consider the difficult request from within. 2 days before she passed away, grandma, she's a child. Suddenly I heard from the son, he says, I've never seen her eating a chicken piece. If she did eat a small piece off the wing, that's what she would have. She got used to making do with little, and she continued with it. But others in her house, open, food and abundance, blessings, everything, and she just got used to giving and giving. One of the stories they didn't tell, but I was content to tell it, and I will tell it. One of her daughters came to her with sand, and she spoke Hebrew. He told her before,
This is some kind of
she
thing
was
that
almost 30 years old. He told her, after she was widowed, he told her that he gave silver to sign the children, and maybe something forbidden. Grandma said she would rent out her apartment, and with this money I entertained the kids. And her agreement with the seller, with this store, it will be more stressful, cheaper. So he'll give her memories to complain about memories. Regarding the payments, let's say if the apartment costs 1,000,000 shekels, she sells it for 500,000, and the rest he would give us as payments, leaving us with the secretarial duties for the rest of her life. And the secretary, that the person who bought the apartment paid the rent every month and lived in it, and he was the one paying the rent every month. It started from the sea smells. From the sea smells. Every month, 3,500 shekels, entitled. So they came to him and said, listen, this is uncomfortable. You didn't think the woman would take as long as 5 years? We're uncomfortable with what you're saying? As if it's accessible. Maybe that's not what he meant. He told me it's a right for me to hold such a woman, her prayers, her tears. That's my right to hold her. It's a story of yet another exit
Yes.
here. I told it.
such great heights. The rabbi talks about a dream she had, how we were before she passed away. What was the dream already?
Wow, that's so much. It gives us so much strength during this period. Everyone was so eager to hear it. And I know that this dream is running so much. Because there are suspenseful moments. So many people are waiting to hear this news. And she brought the news, she told it. A few days before she passed away, she came out in a world that's all good. Absolutely amazing work. And she entered into this world, to stories only righteous women are entitled to. And she says, what are these righteous doing? They were seen talking among themselves, and then suddenly seen turning to him. He rebelled against them. Man, you're out of your element. What are you doing here? This isn't your place. What are you doing? I'm not leaving here. He says, hero, go out. And I'm not ready to go out here. And she says, madam, but this isn't where we're supposed to be. She says, I know this isn't the place that doesn't exist, but I came from my mother's world of improvement. We'll tell you what you're going through with the suggestions. The recent period is a joyful contributor that if Israel passes already with the Jew, the crying is so expressed. I want this to be the end of it for this slice. Gas, almost a mogul. What does he want from us? Save him. Let me not live. I am willing to sacrifice myself. I spoke about this carrot. At that moment, she heard they were talking to them. And after a few minutes, they got along with her. And they said, the most accepted prayer is from those who persevere These are their last children. We only ask for relief, ask for the support of the rejected, and ask for the name.
Rabbi Yitzhak at the Navy, thank you very much for including us.
Such a great personal power. I felt so much that it's a must to say these things. I hope I spoke from the heart.